The Jake Asman Show will begin shortly. Thanks to all these great Patreon members who help support the show. Get your super chats ready. Jake will be here in just a moment. If you love the New York Jets, this is the place to be. And now, the Jake Asman Show.
The Jets, that's right. They've made a move. They've extended starting center Josh Myers to a new 2-year contract. What does this mean for the future of the Jets offensive line? We'll talk about that and much more. GreenBean's going to join us. It's a Football Friday. Let's hit it and get it started.
Guys, we always say this, and it's always going to be pretty. I got one game ball.
Let's keep it going next week.
A new chapter for the Jets has started. Aaron Glenn and Darren Muji are tasked with shaping the future of this franchise. Will they be the ones to finally get it right? We will be here for every step of the journey on the Jake Asman Show, breaking down all the storylines, every game, and everything in between. Please subscribe and hit the like button below. Super chats, baby. Cut the line. The Jake Asman Show starts right now.
Here we go. Here on a Football Friday, we're presented by FanDuel Sportsbook. Before we get started, click the thumbs up button. Make sure you like the video. And if you haven't already, make sure you are subscribed to the channel. Joining us right now is a fan favorite, a man I got to hobnob with at the Matt O'Leary Wedding of Champions. He's our guy, GreenBean, who joins us right now. GB, we got some breaking Jets news to react to. Let's go, baby.
I love Jets news, man. Good morning, Jake. Good morning, everybody in the chat. It's nice to get the Friday started, the weekend, if you will, right here, hanging out, talking about some legitimate news. It's always, I mean, look, we can make stuff up like the best of them, right? We can make stories, but this is real and it means stuff. So I'm excited to talk about it.
Let's get to it. So for those who haven't seen it, it broke about 10 minutes ago. The New York Jets and starting center Josh Myers have agreed to a 2-year, $11 million contract extension that ties him to the Jets through the 2027 season. So as Adam Schefter notes in the tweet you see on the screen there, the Jets now have 4 of their 5 starting offensive linemen under contract for next year. Now, Myers was supposed to be the backup for the guard or center spot this year, but then when Elijah Vera Tucker got hurt on the Tuesday before week 1, they slid Tippmann over to right guard. Myers became the starting center. And you look at the offensive line, GreenBean, I mean, that's been one of the strengths of this team, one of the things you could feel encouraged about for the future. And I like bringing Myers back because this is a nice raise for him. He was making around $2 million this year. So now he makes around $5.5 million over the next 2. He's a solid depth player who could certainly start for you if need be. It allows Tippmann to stay at right guard or left guard, depending on what their plan is for Simpson and AVT. It just gives you a lot of optionality. I like the proactiveness here from GM Darren Muji and Aaron Glenn getting something like this done now.
Yep, I like it too. And hopefully it's a precursor, right? There's a couple other guys, Isaiah Williams and Wangu, maybe both, at least one, maybe Breece Hall, like kind of getting ahead of things, right? Like I like that whole idea. But specifically Myers, like you said, I mean, he was a guy we brought in. They did that whole, competition, Tippmann and Myers, all training camp, all offseason, very similar, reminiscent of Aaron Glenn's weekly quarterback competition that he has. He doesn't want to tell us anything, but we all thought that Myers would just be the backup. Tippmann would be out front, and it was kind of a good, fire under his ass thing. AVT would be at right guard. And as you know, the AVT yearly AVT's not going to play for us thing happened, and Myers, thankfully, was on the roster already. So I think it's awesome. I mean, I wouldn't love it if they were like, he's our starter, no competition. But I would really like if they used a mid-round pick, get a center in here and have that competition. And we know at worst, it's Myers. And I think that's pretty damn good and not what we're used to. It's raising the floor, Jake, getting ahead of these things and kind of knowing that you have the potential to go up, but our floor is already in place and that's been raised. I think that's a really good precedent to send. And hey, offensive line can't start at a better position, man.
It feels like this is a move that you make, and you kind of use the word I was going for, to raise your floor of your unit, right? Like now you're in a spot where, hey, maybe, worst case, Myers has to start for you, but best case, he's one of the better backups you're going to find. In 2 years, $11 million is still high end backup money, fringe starter money. So, to me, there's no downside to this move. He's proven he could play both center and guard in the league. He's been competent this year. And now the Jets have to decide, hey, what's the plan with AVT? What's the plan with John Simpson? Do we bring both guys potentially back, and you just kind of let it sort itself out over the summer with the status of AVT's health? And I agree with you. The Jets now could absolutely draft a guard/center, have that guy even compete with Josh Myers. Say they let AVT walk and they bring back John Simpson. Well, you could do a rookie competing with Josh Myers for the starting center spot. Or if they love a guard and they want to move Tippmann back to center, if that's your best five, you could have a guard compete with Myers until that guy that you used the top draft pick is potentially ready. I just like the optionality that the Jets now have, knowing they have 4 of their 5 offensive linemen, worst case, under contract going into next season.
Yeah, and so as I put myself in the minds of the collective, right, the Jets fans, I know, and I haven't checked the chat yet, I'm going to look and see. It's probably there already. This, to some, is going to mean that Linderbaum is out, right? So this is going to be looked at by a nice chunk of our brethren and sistren, but as the Jets actually got worse. We were going to get Linderbaum, and now we settled for Myers. I don't think it does that. So let me just talk about that for a split second here. I don't think it does that at all. Like you just said, and like we're kind of insinuating here, all this really does is, like, if you do end up starting him, there's a cohesiveness. They've played together all year. We know what he's going to bring to the table. It's solid. It's positive. But we now know, let's say we do plan on being in the Linderbaum sweepstakes. If the Ravens let him hit the free agent market, which I don't think they will, quite frankly, but if they do, we now know, all right, look, we're planning to be aggressive in there and go for him. But there's a good chance that he's not going to want to come to the quarterbackless, perpetually suck ass Jets, right? So in the event we lose out on the guy we're going for, we now know we fall back to the guy who's already starting. So not a bad deal at all. I don't think it means that we won't do or won't try to do anything. It just locks in that we're not going to have, end up with, and what we've seen many times the last few years, that we're going to kind of be left holding our junk at the ball. At the end of, we're going to be dateless at 2 a.m. at last call. All the things we tried to do didn't happen, and now we have a hole at center, and we're going and we're talking somebody out of retirement, at the last minute. So we know our center's good. Our center, the floor is intact. We know what it is, and we can try to upgrade any which way that we want.
You're watching live. Hit the like button. GreenBean hanging out with us here on a Football Friday. We're discussing a bit of a surprise Jet breaking news item here on a Football Friday. Josh Myers has been the starting center since week 1. He has agreed to a 2-year, $11 million extension with the Jets. And look, the Jets did a lot of these 1-year kind of let's see what we have type of signings in Muji's first offseason. And this was definitely one of the better moves that has kind of panned out, right? Like, this is what you want. You take a dart throw on some guys on 1-year deals. You see what sticks. This was one that clearly stuck because Myers has played every game. He's not great, but he's not awful. He's certainly competent. And I think the big thing is, if you have other good offensive linemen around Josh Myers, that's what you need to be successful. You don't need 5 all-pros on your offensive line. You need guys that get along, that play well together. And when you have 2 bookend tackles and a legit Pro Bowl level guard in Tippmann, that's going to elevate the other guys on your line. So I like the strategy here because, again, you brought up Linderbaum. That doesn't take you out of that. Doesn't take you out of drafting someone. I like the idea of the Jets, at least going into next year, regardless who the quarterback is, knowing that worst case, they have 4 of their 5 linemen that have all played together. And what's crazy, too, the Jets are the only team in the league that's had the same 5 offensive linemen every game this year, which is maddening because in the past, the Jets have always had all these O-line injuries. And even when we get health for the O-line for once, outside of course, AVT before the year started, they still can't win any games, GreenBean.
I know I'm telling you, man, it's anomalous for us, right? Like offensive line in particular has been a unit that by the end of the season, it's, we got guys from practice squads and all, all over the league. It's just a hodgepodge. We're on tackle number 3, guard number 2, left guard number 4. Like that's where we are at this time of the year. It's weird by the end of every season, and you're seeing a little bit. By the end of the last 4 years, really, we don't know who the receivers are. Like, there's just a whole new it's a quarterback that, he's the 3rd or 4th quarterback of the year. We got a bunch of receivers running around, offensive linemen. We don't know. Like, nobody can kind of stay healthy and continue through a whole season for the Jets. And if this is a trend that's beginning, the fact that it started on the offensive line is probably best case scenario. Obviously, we've had a couple quarterbacks. We're on our 3rd quarterback now this season. We went and traded for wide receivers. So we did that by choice. It's not like, what we've seen in the past. All of a sudden we got Dante Moncrief and Hogan running around. You know what I mean? It's like, It's brutal. But this time we went out and made some moves at wide receivers, guys that were able to evaluate and see, are they a part of, the future? Do we need to, use draft capital or, get somebody in free agency? But it's really a positive thing. And it's crazy when you just take a step back and look at it, that the offensive line has played together all year and moving that into a year 2. This is what teams do, guys. It just seems so crazy for us. But having an offensive line that plays together, that's how they get better. It's not just bringing the guys in. It's actually having that continuity. And we haven't seen it at all here. So this is a really good move, in my opinion. The AVT question, and hopefully we'll talk about that a little bit. That's a big one. That's like looming over us. But so far, I think this is a great start for the 2026 offensive line.
I want to read some comments from people. So super chats will cut the line. Jet fans, your reaction to the Josh Myers 2-year contract extension. This was a tweet I just saw from ESPN Jets reporter Rich Cimini. He says the metrics on center Josh Myers are all over the place. He ranks 9th among centers in ESPN pass block win rate, ranks 29th in pressure rate by Next Gen Stats. A smart, tough player who doesn't wow with his physical talent. Deal includes $6 million guaranteed, which suggests a starting role, but there's always flexibility for the 5 starters under contract for 2026. Only pending free agent is left guard John Simpson, AVT on IR, also a pending free agent. If you're Darren Muji and Aaron Glenn, what are your thoughts on Simpson and AVT? How would you approach it going into the offseason, GreenBean?
Yeah, so AVT, obviously a player. I don't think there's too many Jets fans that when he's playing don't like the guy that we see, right? I think AVT's pretty much, he's a badass and he's really, really good at what he does when he does it. But this is the 3rd year that we've been without his services. And even last year, he played most of the season, but I believe it was 2 games, maybe 2 or 3 games that we lost him last year too. So, and then his rookie year, even though he played all 16 games, I think that was the last year of 16. He played all 16 games, but there were a couple games here that he had to leave. And so that, like, since his rookie year, even though he was banged up a little bit then, this guy has not been on the field for us consistently. And like last year, only missing 2 games, we look at that as a positive, when the truth is it's really not. I mean, if that's the worst that you got, you'll deal with that. But AVT, the old saying, the best ability is availability. And he hasn't done that, man. I personally think that you need to cut ties with him. I don't know if they're going to. I think it was Joe Caparoso recently. I think it was him, maybe not. He said that the word that that Aaron Glenn loves AVT. So the plan is to keep him around. I don't know how solid that is or not. But I mean, it's just a weird one because I like him and all that stuff. I think most of us do, but it's too scary to go into another season giving him money. And, by week 2, 3, 5, whatever it is, you're scrambling at guard. We got lucky with the Myers and Tittman being able to scoot over, but I don't like it. I think, re-sign Simpson and figure, and then just kind of use the draft and maybe get some depth guys in here.
I think the only way I would bring back Vera Tucker is if it's like a very low cost prove it deal, 1 year, $5 million with playing time incentives where he could make some extra money. And if you look at the guard market, guards, like there's the top end guys that are making a little over 20 million. And then there's a bunch of guys that are under 10. Like there's no kind of like middle ground for guards. And when AVT is right, we know he's really, really good. So I'm torn on this because I feel like this is the classic like Jet fan thought process. If the Jets let him walk, he'll go somewhere else. He'll go to the Rams and be unbelievable, be in the Pro Bowl next year. And if the Jets keep him, he's going to get hurt again. So it's like, damn if you do, damn if you don't. That type of thought process we all have as fans of this miserable team. But I think if you bring him back and it's a 1 year deal with like all incentives to raise money, he might be in on it because I don't know how many other teams are going to be like giving him more than what the Jets would be willing to offer him on a prove it deal. But again, if they moved on, I would understand it. But then I think you almost want to just keep Simpson because you know what he is. He's solid, good leader, and he's not going to cost you an arm and a leg. And then you have true continuity going into next year when you likely have a rookie quarterback playing the most amount of your starts over 17 games next season.
Yeah, and I think, by and large, I think most Jets fans kind of land in that same spot, like a 1 year prove it kind of a thing. But here's the problem with that. And because I land there too. Like, I'm like, all right, the problem with that is if you do that and there still has to be a backup plan because let's say he fails the test. So we give him a 1 year, can you stay healthy kind of a thing, and he doesn't. And similar to this year, by week 1, we already don't have him. What are we looking at? So if they re-sign Simpson and you got Tippmann and Myers as kind of, looked at as the backup, or I guess you could, kind of do that whole thing again. But there's also something to be said for Tippmann, picking the position. Like we saw it with AVT for a couple of years. He was the right guard. He started at left guard. Then we're moving him to left tackle and he's playing right tackle. Then he's playing right guard. And, that kind of that whole, situation doesn't lend itself to somebody settling in and getting really good at their position, like being able to work on the skill set required to do this thing as opposed to moving back and forth. I just think at some point you got to kind of, settle into whatever this is going to be for Tippmann. So I don't know, like I'm with you there, but I feel like it muddies the water and it precludes you from looking at a real solution, for that guard spot. And it could just keep you in this state of, like this kind of state, like this transitional state that could put us in a bad position.
Yeah, you're not wrong. It's tough because like they hit on that pick. If he could just stay healthy, we know he's good. And then you bring up the position flexibility. It'd be tough to lose him. But I think the key thing they have to decide is if you do decide to keep Elijah Vera Tucker, are you using, let's say, one of those second round picks, right? A significant investment into a center / guard that's like competing with him or is basically the insurance if and when he gets hurt, or you know what I mean? Like you would have to invest a real asset to cover yourself because you can't go through hey, we're losing him for most of the year again, we're screwed, that type of thing with a rookie next year. So that's the decision they have to make. I guess it also could come down to, well, what's the market for John Simpson? Like if Simpson prices himself out of what the Jets are comfortable with, well, then maybe they pivot to bring an AVT back, knowing they could get him for cheaper. They have Myers, and then they could draft someone, and that's their better use of resources. So I think the market for Simpson really determines what their plan might be with AVT, if that makes sense.
No, that's a really good point, actually, because like we all assume, oh, yeah, well, the Jets are kind of in the driver's seat with Simpson. If we want him, if we don't want him, he might be sought after. I mean, the truth is, man, is that, and we've seen this over the last 10 years or so, maybe a little bit more. The offensive line, years past, it was like it wasn't like the appropriate value wasn't realized. The last decade has shown us offensive line is quite literally everything. Yes, you can have a quarterback, but if he's getting chased all over the place and getting hit, every other play, you got nothing. You have no running game without the offensive line. This is obvious stuff. But so a guard that's, number one, he's staying healthy, right? Simpson. So That's big in this league. If a guy has proven he can play all 17 games consistently, that in and of itself has an inherent value. But he might be sought after. And if you're doing this whole thing, well, hey, we're going to give AVT, $5-6 million, and we just bumped up Myers, who could be a backup. Like, it might put us in a situation where we can't keep Simpson, and that I think would be the mistake. And we've seen that in years past. We are a perfect example with Becton. We let Morgan Moses go. We let Fant go because we had this idea that Becton was going to be, the guy. When you made a choice, we're going to choose Becton. And as we know, he kept getting injured. And look, I think it's the Chargers now. They signed him in free agency after he played guard for the Eagles last year. He hasn't played 2/3 of the season for them. Right. There's already talk of them getting rid of him. So one of those things, like, you don't want to screw yourself and put you in a position where you can't keep Simpson, and that $5 million would have allowed you to keep Simpson because of this hope with AVT. He's, Jake, it's like, how many times is somebody going to go, hey, you got something on your shirt, and you look down, they go, boop. Like, how many times? How many times you're going to fall for it, So I don't know. It's a sad thing. And like you said, the fear of him going somewhere else. But here's the thing. Maybe he does go somewhere else and succeed. And it's the Jets situation with him. It's the MetLife Field. Who would, he's just never going to work here. So I don't know. I really think, like, you got to really look at that. And like a great example, like you brought up, if it is Simpson, you want to bring him back, and the money, it's just the money's not making sense because you need to allocate that $5-6 million to AVT, and that's kind of the hurdle. I think you got to choose Simpson over AVT, even though the ceiling isn't as high.
Comments, questions, super chats will cut the line. It's a football Friday, so we step up our daily raffle prizes every Friday in honor of a football Friday. Why don't we do this? A signed Wayne Corbett authenticated photo for your man cave is on the line. It looked great in the GreenBean man cave right behind us. What a setup that Mr. Bean has right over there.
Yeah, it would go with my other one.
Oh,
when I met Wayne all those years ago.
That is outstanding. Love that. Yeah, so one. If you want something similar, make sure you enter today's raffle. You could gift the community a membership or send in a $5 super chat or higher. $5 gets you one raffle ticket, 10 gets you two, so on and so forth. So make sure you enter. And of course, when you enter a daily raffle, you automatically are entered in the weekly raffle. This week, we're giving away a signed Darrelle Revis football, another Wayne Corbett item. It's a signed Wayne Corbett jersey and a signed photo by NFL Pro Football Hall of Famer and awesome New York Jet, former running back LaDainian Tomlinson. Couple comments here, and then we'll get to some calls with GreenBean on a football Friday. So make sure you load them up. The call-in link is pinned in the live chat. Good guy Greg says, I want AVT as he's the better player, but durability is so tough. That's why if you're bringing him back, it has to be structured where he's only getting big money or quote-unquote money he's deserved for being a really good player based on if he's actually healthy and playing games. You got to structure it based on, incentives for playtime.
This is a great opportunity for me to, I'm kind of a historian, right? I'm old and all that stuff. So I arrive to the party dusty, I'm open the old tomes. And so this is I want to point something out. Like when we talk about general managers and decisions and all that. So we see AVT, he's perpetually injured and all this stuff. If we re-sign him, we're all talking about, if we do, it's got to be structured in a way that accounts for injury. It's somewhat of a prove-it situation. Years ago, when we had a general manager named Mike McCagnon, we had another player who I loved, right? His name is Quincy Enunwa. He still stays around the Jets and everything. And I think when he was playing, he was so fun to watch. He was also perpetually injured. Mike McCagnon, in the exact same situation, think about this. If Darren Muji re-signed AVT for a 3-year extension right now and gave him in that contract injury guaranteed money, Like, so injury guarantee. So if you get injured, you don't lose anything, all that kind of stuff. That's what Mike Maccagnan gave Quincy Enunwa. So when you want to just talk about how bad we've been, when people like myself talk about the general manager and you see things, you're like, guys, this is positive stuff. Imagine if Darren Muji gave AVT right now, after all the history we have, a 3-year extension with injury guarantees. How would that make us feel? How would you feel if that was the response, Jake? If all of a sudden tomorrow we find out Darren Muji re-signed AVT for 3 years, $12 million a year, injury guaranteed, all guaranteed. How would you feel about Darren Muji?
Oh my goodness, we'd be irate. I forgot about that Quincy extension. He played 0 games on that extension too. It's such a shame.
Yeah, that's what Maccagnan actually did with Quincy Enunwa. Crazy, right?
We have had, I mean, honestly, going from Izek, who was horrific, to Maccagnan, like that people talk about why the Jets have been as bad as they've been. And obviously there's some bad luck involved and other things that just only happen to the Jets. But when you go from Izek to Maccagnan and you look at the drafts and the free agent moves and just the decisions that were made during those years, that is the ultimate reason why this franchise was set back as far as they were. And then as Douglas is trying to dig them out, he certainly did some good things from a roster standpoint, but missed on the ultimate biggest thing with the quarterback situation with Wilson and the head coaching hire for that matter too. So it really makes you think like how a team could be as bad as the Jets have been for now 15 years without the playoffs. It all starts with the Izek into Maccagnan combo that really set us on this path.
It makes perfect sense. And this is one of those things too. It's like when you look at, like, I used to get so mad when, national shows back in the day, Inside the NFL or, ESPN or whatever. And they look at the Jets, like, so we have an offseason and we make these moves and we sign guys or whatever. And they literally, before a game is played, and they go, yeah, and the Jets are going to obviously suck. I would get so upset because my heart was in it and I was, Jordan Jenkins is going to go all pro and all these kinds of things that I would try to cling on to. But when you look at it from an objective standpoint, like people that aren't Jets fans do, it is clear as day to see why the Jets were terrible. Like when we're using a 2nd-round pick on Hackenberg and, just all the things that we do.
Ja'Kai Polite, a 3rd-round.
Ja'Kai Polite. Everybody and their mother was like, dude, he's undraftable. He showed up at the combine. He was like, 25, 30 pounds overweight, all this stuff. He smelled like cigarettes and whiskey, but everybody said he's like undraftable. And Mike Maccagnan's response was, I couldn't pass on him. Like, so like how directly contrary to success we've been. And that's why, like, when we see these moves that happen, like, for example, Muji in the trade with Quinnen Williams, of Quinnen Williams, that little sentence in that trade that says, whatever pick next year of Green Bay and Dallas is the higher pick, that's the one we get. Like little nuances like that really show me, and somebody who's been watching intently these general manager moves that we've had since way back to Dick Steinberg. I've been like obsessed and looking at this shit. When you see something like that, a nuance putting in, we're not just getting a first next year, we're getting the higher. Right. Like not committing, we want Dallas's first or we want Green Bay's first. No. We're going to wait and see whatever one's higher. That's the one we get. Shit like that points to Muji maybe being a little bit better, having more potential to be better than guys like the Maccagnans, Idzeks, and Bradways of the world.
I think that's beautifully said. Hey, Lou B's the first to enter the raffle today. He says, my dude, GreenBean. Hey now, Lou B, one of the big diehard Jet fans out there.
Love Lou.
Checking in. Ryan's a fan of the move to extend Myers. Rob says, I like the move. Actually retaining continuity. That's what we need. Like GreenBean said, just win a Super Bowl before I die. We have the A-team today with Asman and GreenBean. Bunch of other topics I want to get into with GreenBean here on a Football Friday. I'm going to play you something from last night. I don't know if you saw Todd Bowles at the podium, but the former Jet coach, this is about as angry as I have ever seen Bowles. So warning for anyone who is at work with the sound on or who has kids in the car driving to school right now. This clip is not safe for work. Here's a very angry Todd Bowles.
In the locker room after a game like this. It's inexcusable. You don't make excuses. You gotta fucking care enough where the shit hurts. You gotta fucking care enough where the shit hurts. It gotta fucking mean something to you. It's more than a job. It's your fucking livelihood. How well do you know your job? How well can you do your job? Well, you can't sugarcoat that shit. It was in the fucking excusable, and there's no fucking answer for it. There's no excuse for it. We'll be telling a lot. In the fucking mirror.
7 F-bombs from Todd Bowles last night. He was pissed as they blew that game. We've seen that many times as Jet fans. That was a Todd Bowles special. Inferior team in a game the Jets in a game the Bucks had to have, right? They got off to this great start this year. They have completely struggled since, and Bowles lost it for his standards at the podium last night.
Dude, that's the equivalent of Rex Ryan throwing chairs around the room. Like that's what I can't even believe it. Like as it was happening, my first thought is this has to be AI. Like this has to be Gator. You know what I mean? Like that's what I was thinking. Gator got him. But yeah, I mean, holy cow. I can't even believe it. That shows when Todd Bowles is dropping F-bombs, not just one that's once he said it, you felt it. It kind of opened the floodgate. It opened the dam. The dam broke. He's like, that's it. I've had it. I'm dropping as many F-bombs as I see fit, and threw in a couple shits. So that was something else, man. But good for him. You know, good for him. Look, Todd Bowles ended up turning it. You take a look. He ended up being a pretty good coach. You know, this is the whole thing with rookie head coaches, Jake, and why I don't want them ever. Like whenever we're talking about these coaching hires that we're going to do, and I have all these people telling me, oh, I want Aaron Glenn or I want this noob. I'm like, look, that's fine. If we're going to do that, you can't be wanting to chop his head off fucking week 3, man. Like he doesn't know the job. He's going to make these clock management mistakes, and he's going to choose to try to go for it on 4th and 5 when you could kick a field goal. He's going to do that stuff. So Todd Bowles was here for 4 years, had 3 offensive coordinators in 4 years with us. The whole thing with Maccagnan, we learned later that Maccagnan didn't let his scouts talk to the coaches because he thought that he didn't want his scouts and all the work that they do to be tainted by the opinions of what is that? Like, so we had this whole crazy thing. Obviously, Todd Bowles took his lumps and learned it on our dime. Went down there, look, and Arians literally gift drafted him a Super Bowl team with Tom Brady, and not a bad start, but look, he ended up being a pretty good coach. I don't know if he's good enough, like in the big game, to like out coach the Shanahans, the Reeds, those kinds of guys. But looks like a pretty good. He ended up being pretty damn good.
And last night, though, I mean, this tweet kind of sums it up. So the Falcons had 19 penalties. They were down 28-14 in the 4th. They actually scored both touchdowns, but they did the analytics thing where you go for 2. They failed on both 2-point conversions. They faced a 3rd and 28 and a 4th and 14 with the game on the line, and they still found a way on the road days after they were officially eliminated from the playoffs to beat Bulls' Buccaneers. And he certainly has proven that he's not a total incompetent head coach down in Tampa, but he might be on the outside looking in if they failed to make the playoffs here because they started 5-1. Remember, they were rolling when they beat the Jets and all that, and they have lost 6 of 8, since that great start. So that was excruciating. I bring this game up too, though, because there were a lot of Jet fans discussing Kirk Cousins' performance. If he were to be available, any interest in him to be in the room next year, mentoring a rookie or playing before that rookie's ready to go?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I think you could do worse. I do think that, like, I was really starting to buy into a little bit here, the Tyrod Taylor, like just bringing him back kind of a thing, like as that in that role. Excuse me. I was really starting to buy in, like against my better judgment. I'm like, all right, well, hey, man, the guy can play. He's a good role model and all that kind of stuff. But I really do think, like, you see it, like the thing that we all, before our feelings got involved, the objective opinion on Tyrod Taylor is that all those things are true, but you're only getting a handful of games from him. Like, that's it. He cannot be called on to fill in if your quarterback goes down. Like, you got to have somebody else because he's not going to make it. So I think the Tyrod time should and probably will end here. And if it is Kirk Cousins, am I lagging real bad?
You're okay.
Oh, okay. I know I've been having some really bad lag issues lately. So anyway, I hope I'm not too bad.
You actually, you look crystal clear. You sound good, so we can't tell.
Oh, okay, good. Yeah, I hope it stays. I did some work on that. I'm actually going to switch. I might go with the new internet carrier. That all aside, I think you could do worse than Kirk Cousins. It all depends on who we get, right? Like, I just feel like it's like we have this idea that like anybody, like everybody's good for everybody, and I don't think that's the case. Like, you have to really be nuanced with this stuff. Like, if we're going to be bringing in this kid, what quarterback would be good and likely mesh well with him, as opposed to just, hey, this guy's good around the league, bring him in. I think that's that's a little bit of fool's gold, like, it's not always so cut and dry. So I think you could do worse than Kirk Cousins. Like, I don't feel nervous if he needs to come in for a game, here or there, but I don't know. I'd have to see who's really out there and what it looks like. Does his contract end? Because they gave him a lot of money. I don't know where that is.
So he's under contract. The thought would be they would maybe cut him or move him if there was a team that would take on some of the contract. Maybe they would they'd pay some of it off. I think what complicates Cousins is, one, he's still competent, as we saw last night. Like, you could do a lot worse, as you said. And with Penix being out for the start of next year because of his ACL situation, they almost need him, and he knows their offense. I think a lot of it probably comes down to, does Raheem Morris and that coaching staff, do they survive the season? I mean, a win like last night certainly helps because, they were playing for nothing and showed a lot winning that game. He's an option people will continue to bring up, though. I mean, I know a lot of Jet fans don't like him because he used the Jets in free agency in 2018. I'm already seeing a comment here from Eddie who says, no to Cousins, he used the Jets. So, well, I don't think he's going to be the Jet bridge, but he's at least an option I know people are talking about.
Yeah, well, Anthony Barr was worse, right? And they're both Vikings, interestingly enough. But here's the thing. Kirk Cousins didn't use the Jets. He used Mike McCagnon, all right? Now, Mike McCagnon is a complete – I mean, it's funny. Who knew we were going to talk about this guy so much today?
Right.
But – I highlighted one example, and we talked about the relationship with Bowles and all that. But Mike McCagnon, the idea of, we had nothing. We had no offensive line. We had no receivers to speak of. We had no running game. Like, we had nothing. So the idea that Mike McCagnon tried to go into that and kind of just offer $100 million or $90 million, whatever it was, Mike McCagnon was the fool. It didn't matter what team would do that to. He was never coming here. Like, he was never coming. So the idea, again, I hear you, but I would look more at it like Mike McCagnon was used as opposed to the Jets.
Did anyone drink more coffee than former Jets GM Mike McCagnon? Like, this picture I still see circling the interwebs all the time. I mean, God. And you know what's amazing too? That when the Jets hire people, in a lot of cases, after they fail in spectacular fashion, they never work again in the league. Like, has McCagnon worked in pro football since he was fired? I don't think so. Gase hasn't gotten any professional job since he was fired. And this was the power structure that McCagnon and Gase were putting together here. McCagnon hiring Gase, and then Gase sticking the knife in McCagnon's back after the 2019 draft and free agency, because that made a ton of sense. Just only the Jets.
Yeah. No, it's so funny. Like, and it's sad though, when you look at it, just like you said it perfectly. At one point, we as fans had to look to the collective brain trust of Mike McCagnon and Adam Gase, or Mike McCagnon and Todd Bowles, or, it's like, when you look at these guys, you said it. They don't even get considered for jobs. Like, at one point we were talking about Gase coaching where football is going, right? He's the future of the NFL. He didn't even get a quarterback coach job after this. Like, he was so bad that interestingly enough, he's working for Tannenbaum, which is just so crazy, like the incestuous nature of how the Jets shit permeates everything. It's like, think about it. We fire Tannenbaum and keep Rex, which started the whole thing. The next 6 years was a result of that bad decision. Keep them both or fire them both. They fire Tannenbaum. They keep Rex, which forces us to get Idzik because nobody else wants it. Then we go from Idzik to McCagnon and that whole thing and all this shit. And then we come back around and we hire Mike Tannenbaum, your buddy, to come in here and pick the coach. And who's his first fucking interview? Rex Ryan. When people were like, oh, I think we're going to hire Rex. There's no way Tannenbaum is going to hire Rex. That's the guy who separated himself from the Tebow and all that kind of stuff. And Mike Tannenbaum had to fall on the sword while Rex stayed like, I don't know what's going on, that kind of a thing. So if you actually thought that when it all comes around, Tannenbaum was going to go, yeah, Rex, you were drunk. I don't know how you could have thought that was going to happen, but it's just crazy like how it all worked out. We now go, hey, Mike Tannenbaum, the guy that we fired wasn't good enough to keep around. Can you help us find some people? Isn't it crazy, man?
It just, the Jets are the Jets. There's just always some sort of storyline that you wouldn't believe it unless you live what we live, rooting for this team as a diehard. Because let's be real, anyone who's tuned into this show or your show that you're going to do later today, GB, that is locked in on December 12th to a 3-10 football team that has failed to make the playoffs for 15 consecutive seasons, you are a diehard fan of your football team. There's no other way around it. Like, you're sick in the head if you're still tuned into Jet content in mid-December, given what's going on with this team. Hey, because of that, we love you diehards. We got a signed Wayne Corbett photo up for grabs right now. If the raffle was going to be happening this second, Lou B would win. He's the only one on the wheel right now. So make sure you send in a super chat for your chance to win the signed Wayne Corbett photo or gift the community a membership. Comments, questions, your super chats, they always cut the line. Let's do some calls now with GreenBean. James is first today. Hello, James.
Hey, Jake. Hey, GreenBean. How are you?
What's up, man? How you doing?
I'm good. Listen, I don't know why we're getting off the Joe Burrow topic. My dream is still alive since we've been all talking about it. It's still there. And I really just, everything we got for Sauce Gardner and Williams, I feel like it's all coming together. This is what we got the picks for. Let's just use it all for Joe Burrow. And heck, add another first round pick the next 10 years and let's go get Chase as well. Imagine that. Burrow number one. Burrow is our quarterback, a decent O-line. We have Chase number one, a Garrett as a number two, and then Mitchell as a three. Jake, that's what you said you wanted. We needed Mitchell as a number three. In my dreams, right? This is
but James,
it's such a beautiful thought.
I would love Joe Burrow on the Jets. Who wouldn't, right? Jamar Chase, sure, why not? But why would Joe Burrow, who has a full no trade, why would he say, yup, I want to leave Cincinnati because, football is not fun for me right now. And let me go play for the New York Jets, Woody Johnson, and play on the MetLife playing surface.
Yeah, and listen, it's a hard sell, but New Yorkers are good salesmen. So I'm hopeful. And look, Joe Namath had that. He has that famous. Well, he probably did it more than once. I wasn't alive for it, but there's famous photos of him with the big fur coats and fur jackets. I see Burrow with those fur coats and jackets. So I just think it's a match made in heaven. I love his attitude. I think. Anyway, a man can dream, Jake. I see it. I can almost see it, and I don't. There's no in my mind. There's no argument about Joe Burrow not being an elite quarterback. People who don't see it that way, I hearken back to every year, which is pretty few, but early on when he had an O-line, he puts up 40 points a game, and the only way they lose is because their defense was also letting up 40 points a game. Like every game was anyway. I know I'm getting way ahead of myself, but it's just. A man, let me dream, and let other Jets fans dream right now because it is a possibility to some extent.
You should have, what you do? You sign Joe Burrow, and then you sign AVT, And then Tyrod Taylor as his backup. Let's just make sure that the team we build in September, by the time it's December, it's a whole different team. You know, I don't know, man. Like Joe Burrow scares the shit out of me. Like it's one of those moves. Clearly, the guy's awesome. Nobody's going to debate how good he is, right? I think if you have an argument that Joe Burrow isn't good, I don't even know if I'd waste my time listening to you. But this is what, his third year that he's knocked out for a significant portion. And you can say, oh, the offensive line. Yeah, sure. That's all well and good, but it doesn't matter. He's perpetually injured, and that shit stacks up. And that press conference, man, talking about not having fun. I mean, what, he's going to go, yeah, you know what sounds fun? Remove my no trade clause and let me go to the team that chews up and destroys quarterback's career. That's where I want to go. That sounds fun. He comes here, he's fucking retiring by week 15.
That's the fear, right? Again, the Jets will be in any conversation for any potential veteran that's available because of the draft capital they have. But I just can't picture Joe Burrow saying, yep, let me leave the Bengals, a team known for bad ownership and everything that's happened with him there, where he's been banged up. He's never had a real O-line. And even though we could argue the Jets' offensive line is pretty good, and we have been talking about it at the start of the show, of course, I just can't picture Joe Burrow being like, yep, let me go play for Woody Johnson on the MetLife turf and play for a franchise that has failed to make the playoffs for 15 straight years. And it's not like there's a coach that he has a relationship with that he played with at LSU or he knew early on in his Bengals tenure, right? Like, what part of the people will laugh now, but part of the reason why Rodgers wanted to come to the Jets is because Hackett was here and he had that familiarity with him. Like, there's no connecting tissue to the Jets and Burrow other than he's just so disgusted with Cincinnati for whatever the reasons are behind the scenes that he'd go anywhere. But I just don't picture the Jets being the team that he'd want to go play for. I have a hard time seeing it.
Yeah, and the whole thing is, like, once you give up that draft capital too, like, look, if Burrow, like, if all things were perfect and Joe Burrow's, you know, he's into it, he wants to play with Garrett Wilson, it's a player he's respected, whatever the fucking reasons are, if he wants to come here and you know, the injury thing wasn't a thing and just all that kind of stuff, the idea of trading Quinnen Williams and Sauce Gardner and Michael Carter, for that matter, who cares? And you know, and like the return is Joe Burrow. I think it makes perfect sense, but it's not that. You have to factor in reality when you make these decisions. Like, you can't think with your heart, like you just can't. And like, once you give away, you know, 4 first round picks or whatever the hell it would take. They have those picks, and then you have a guy, but at week 5, he's banged up, and we're gonna, you know, he's out for a few weeks, and then he's losing his motivation to play, and we just take on their problem. Like, why would they want it? Why would they be willing to get rid of him? The reason is because they make a decision. All right, well, you know, he's not healthy, or, you know, their relationship is bad because he's not having fun, whatever it is. The idea of the solution being the Jets from our end and his end makes zero sense. Like, it just doesn't make sense. It's a pipe dream. If you want to, it's like, look, when you turn on a movie and you see a real, you know, some beautiful starlet and everything, and you dream, oh, it'd be great if I was with her and all. That's great. You do know that she's not yours. Like, you know, like this is one of those things. You want to massage it and play with it and dream, that's fine. But the idea of it being reality, it's like, to me, it makes zero sense.
It's tough to believe. PBM checks in. What happens if Burrow says, I'll come here if they make the turf grass for the rest of his career? If that's all it took, then maybe Woody Johnson would come to his senses and do something about it. But I think it's going to take a lot more than that. Like, there's no like great offensive coach that's on the Jets that knows Burrow that he'd want to play for. Like, I could see Burrow going to the Rams and replacing Stafford, for example. Like, I could see something like that. Or if it's really right, an NFC team, if the Vikings, if they want to admit they made a mistake already with JJ McCarthy and Kevin O'Connell gets to work with a guy like Burrow, I could see that being a possibility. Hell, if like it really gets ugly in Philly with Jalen Hurts, would they make a daring move where they would bring in Burrow, how he moves on from Hurts, and all of a sudden Hurts is available, and there's like a quarterback domino effect. And then would the Jets maybe have any interest in Jalen Hurts? Like that to me is how Burrow could impact the Jets more so than him actually saying, yep, I'm not having fun in Cincinnati. Trade me to the New York Jets, baby, where quarterbacks, as you said best, go to die.
Oh my God. Like, think about it. Like, even Aaron Rodgers, like, we did the whole Sam Darnold, all right, it was our fault. We got him to go to Rule, and he said we could, and then you do Zach Wilson. So you get these, top of the draft quarterbacks, but then you go, okay, clearly we're not set up to develop anybody. Let's go get 4-time MVP, Super Bowl champion Aaron Rodgers. And he comes in here and he has which was the biggest fear in the world. Like Aaron Rodgers is going to come here and suck. And he does. He doesn't suck, but we all know what happened. It wasn't good. 5 wins. And then you go out, you let him go and you bring in Justin Fields, who's not really a great quarterback. But guess what's happening here? He's having his worst career year. You know what I mean? So so we can take the top and knock you down a bunch of pegs, but we can also take the bottom and make sure that whatever you thought your rock bottom was, oh no, there's a basement. Let us show you the basement of your career. So yeah, man, I mean, I think if they brought, all right, here, his agent's going to sit down with them and go, all right, here's what we're looking at. We got the Rams are interested and the blah, 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 and the Jets. He's going to go, wait, talk about the Jets again. Let me see. Yeah, that's the one that's going to interest him. The Jets are going to be the first one that gets the black magic marker line through on the list. Off the list. It's not real. We got to go get our own guy, man. It's time to have the infrastructure in place, which, by the way, I don't like London, our running backs coach, who has the quarterback coach title. I don't like that being the only coach. I hope that we all talk about Wilkes being, needing to go. If we go and get a Mendoza or a Moore or whoever, and we don't upgrade the quarterback coach position, we're making a mistake. So it's time for us to have the infrastructure in place to develop someone, go get a young guy and make it work. That's what it is. We got the line, we got the running backs, we got the wide receiver thing started, we got a tight end one. We're a pretty good landing spot for a kid to come in and develop. It's time to do that.
Who wanna fly with them Jets?
Yeah,
I like what our new
I'm
thing
fired up.
Dude, but think about it. If that comes on, it's built in. It has an F-bomb in it. You know what I mean? It's like, yeah. I love it.
Be nice to hear that after the Jets clinch a playoff spot for the first time in hopefully not 27 years. By the time it actually happens, the pain. It never ends. All right, more calls with the great GreenBean. He's going to go live in the 11 a.m. hour. So right when you get done watching this program, head over to GreenBean's YouTube channel and lock in with him. Jets Jags on Sunday. God help us. Who knows how ugly it will be. According to FanDuel, the line is 12.5, although I've seen it bounce from 12.5 to even 13 in some spots. Let me check the updated line. As of this morning, it might actually have moved up. It is now at 13.5. Wow. So it moved up a full point overnight. So screw what you just saw on the screen. 13.5 point underdogs. GB, real quick before we get to more calls, do you expect the Jets to get blown out Sunday? Do you expect them to cover that number? What is your feel for Brady Cook likely making his first full start as a Jet?
Well, I think getting the reps and that whole thing is going to be good for him. It was so funny after the game. You just take a second and you look at it. So he has 2 fumbles in his first 6 plays as a starting quarterback. And then he has 2 end zone interceptions. So he's got 2 fumbles, 2 interceptions. He takes 6 sacks, but somehow he still has 163 yards, which makes me, it's like the fact that Justin Fields could throw for 12. I just don't understand how that's real. But you got a guy, and somehow afterwards, Jets fans are on Twitter and telling me that he had a good game. I don't know. I don't know what this kid's going to be. Me personally, I don't have all that much hope for what he's going to be and what he's going to develop into. I'm rooting for him, man. And I'd love to be incorrect. Truly. I don't give, a rat's ass. If I say the guy's never going to be good, he ends up being good and it helps the Jets. I don't have that problem with that. I'm happy to be wrong, right? I don't see it. I think the Jaguars, who are playing for something for the first time in a little while, they're looking like a team that's kind of coming around the mountain, right? You got the new offensive-minded head coach. Trevor Lawrence has had a very difficult start to his career. Just look at the coaches. This is his fourth head coach, isn't it, or third or fourth, since he started. So I think they're really trying to make a case for the direction of this team, and they're going to use us like a stepping stone. They're gonna beat the living hell out of us. That's what I see. I think that, what is it, 13.5?
Yep.
So 2 touchdowns, no problem. I think our defense is really in trouble. I don't know. I hope they play better. Like, I don't want to see that, Aaron Glenn, we've been talking about it. They've been playing better they've been playing for him. They've been playing hard. Last week was the dip. They won a game. They were feeling really good. I believe they read their press clippings. They started feeling like they were doing something, and they got punched in the mouth from the first play. And it took them a whole quarter to kind of settle. And then it settled down, but we just can't have that again. So I'd like to see them come out and play hard from the rip, and just be there, play hard, compete. But I don't see Brady Cook and John Mechie drops Magoo, John No Catchy. So I don't know if we're going to have the horses to stay in this one. I think it's probably, 14 points, I think we're going to lose by more than that.
Yeah, it could be ugly. Mr. Bonesy says, Jake, you look like you're getting healthy finally. I got all this Pedialyte in here, so I'm trying, man. I've been sick since Sunday. It's been a rough week, but I do feel a little better today, Bonesy, so I appreciate you noticing. Let's get to some calls now, shall we, ladies and gentlemen? Where is this man calling us from? You guess right now.
What's up, fellas? How are you?
Wow, from the Boy Green studios there.
Yes. I just wanted to have one kind of piece on the Burrow thing. And kind of, hopefully it'll put it to bed a little bit for the time being. Because we don't know what his preferences are. We don't know what his mind is about where he'd want to go, if he wanted to go anywhere. But from the Bengals' perspective, we understand they'd be reticent to deal a franchise QB that they've signed and they've tried to develop and they've had in their program. But one of the biggest things there is it's $56.5 million in dead money in 2026 if they were to deal him with the current deal. So his deal would probably have to be redone. At that point, why don't you just add extra years onto the deal and convince him to stay? Like that's part of, you have to kind of think about the Bengals' perspective in all of this. It's always been unlikely. I think it's unlikely he's going anywhere, right? Now that I've looked at the cap, but all the no trade clause does is it enables him to choose his destination if he wants to go. It doesn't say, oh, he doesn't want to be traded. Don't think of it that way. All the no trade does is say, I'm going to pick my destination if and when I decide to go. Onto the OL, the offensive line. I like the Myers deal. The money is big. I'm assuming that the second year does not include guarantees where they can get out of it pretty easily. I do think, being that it does kind of preclude us from going after Linderbaum, especially considering the fact that we have 2 second-round picks and we might be able to draft a guy. So that's what I think that we would do. I think we would look for competition, assuming that Pittman settles at guard, and then we probably look to re-sign one of AVT and Simpson, and go from there. You know, I love AVT, and I love his versatility. But if you have a lot of versatility and you don't play, I don't know of what use it really is, right? Like, that said, it's the price point, right? Like, Jake, you had a great point about you know, incentives. I think that's going to be a huge part of it, and whether we can get him at a bargain. I mean, you hate to say it, but you're kind of playing those two guys, Simpson and AVT, against each other. You know, Simpson is rumored to want to be here for personal reasons. AVT is probably looking for a big payday based on his injury history. You know, you have them in house right now. You can talk to them. See if you can find a price point that works for you with either guy, and then kind of go from there. And your thoughts on that?
Yeah, good call, Kyle. I think GreenBean, it really could come down to, like, once you get the free agency and teams get desperate, like, is Simpson, because he's kind of maybe the best of what's available, does he just get an offer that's so good the Jets aren't comfortable matching? And then the pivot is, hey, well, we already have Myers. We could draft someone, but let's bring AVT back on a 1-year deal, $5 million base, $5, $6, $7 million in incentives based on how many games he plays. I could definitely see that as a possibility.
Yeah, and that's an interesting way to look at it, like the kind of the angle that was just presented, you know, and it dovetails nicely with what we were talking about earlier. It's like this decision on Simpson, on AVT does directly impact whatever move you're going to make at that left guard spot, you know, and obviously with, you know, whether or not you're able to or want to retain Simpson. And that's the thing. Like, so when you look at them head to head, so I think Simpson would, you know, he's going to listen, right? He's here, and we have the opportunity to start negotiating with him now, a la Myers, same kind of a thing. You can start seeing what his team is looking for, and they're probably going to want to, you know, I mean, you know, if they get a good enough offer, that's one thing, but I think they'd be interested in seeing what the market looks like for him before they make a move. But like, when you look at those guys directly head to head, you can't debate it. The upside is it's lopsided to AVT's side, right? Like, he is a significantly more premium guard, but Simpson is on the field and AVT is getting really good at Fortnite. You know, sitting on his couch, he's really, really rising through the ranks of the Fortnite community. So it's, you know, when you look at that, man, and you got to make that decision, that $5-6 million or whatever it is, that's just a number worth throwing out hypothetically for AVT. That's probably enough to whatever you're willing to offer Simpson, that extra $5 million, the VIG, if you will, you know, that difference between what you're offering and what somebody else might be offering, it's probably going to be within that money that you would likely have to give AVT to stay. So when you look at these guys directly head to head, it's not that AVT isn't quality and isn't a better player when you know, if they're both on the field, but one's on the field and one's not consistently. And I think that's really the most important thing. So if you got to make that choice, if somebody's offering, you know, Simpson 2.5 more than you're comfortable with, maybe you do it. You just meet it. That's the market. The market's set, you know, like that kind of a thing. I would probably be willing to do it. And then, like was said, we have tons of late round picks. I hope we don't keep all our sevens, use those in the fourth round to jump up and make some moves, and, you know, and maybe even get into the third if you can from one of our fourths. We don't have a third round pick this year. So, you know, I'm really hoping that some of our late round picks are used as capital to move up and or get, you know, established players. That's another thing, but use those to jump up in the third to fifth round is a sweet spot for interior, you know, offensive linemen, man. A lot of the guys that we want to sign in free agency, they're our number one guy. You look at them, where were they drafted? Fourth round. Yep. That's where you get those guys. It just takes a minute a lot of the time. Most often they're not coming in and playing, you know, from day one. You might need a little bit of time with them, but still, I think re-sign Simpson, let AVT go. It sucks. It's heartbreaking. I know it's, you know, we're all feeling the same shit, One guy's going to play for you. Use, a fourth round pick, get another guy in there that can play center and go, which is so weird with Myers, by the way. The fact that he's only a center, that is so rare. Centers can always play guard in a pinch. He's like one of these anomalous guys that just, I only play center. Isn't that bizarre? So anyway, I think that's probably the smarter way to go. Re-sign Simpson, get a guy you really like in the fourth round or jump up into the third, get that guy in here, have him stewing, simmering behind Simpson and go from there.
Jack Hammer in the raffle. On what planet is playing for the Jets fun? Yeah.
Joe Burrow. Yeah, that's so good, Jack. That was fucking like it's a quote.
God. Anyway, that's 3 entries. I'm going to give us a 4th right now. This is the lowest amount of raffle entries we've ever had on a football Friday. I guess people don't want to sign Wayne Corbett photo, huh? I mean,
yeah,
geez.
I'm not motivating. I don't have the face of Super Chat, to inspire.
We both had the faces today of a 3-10 football team. Where's the enthusiasm? Josh Myers is back, baby.
Yeah, it's an exciting day, man. We now know our floor for center is not going to get any worse than Josh Myers next year. That's a slam dunk, man.
That's pretty good.
Yeah.
Hey, I get to the membership, and if you got it, you're on the raffle. That ship has sailed is the recipient of said membership. Let's go. Dominic D'Angelo is gifted a membership. Hey, now.
Here they come.
He's in the raffle for 1.
Hey, I got it.
Oh, you got a member? You did get a membership. Sean Horton just gifted 5 memberships, and you're right. You are one of the people he gets. Your Rich Rise got one. Gypsy Moonchild, Grinch Season, and Jack Hammer also getting a membership. Let's go. Everyone's in the raffle trying to win a prize.
Hello. You play to win the game.
Ant Banks has put me in the raffle, and just like that, people are coming out of the woodwork to enter a Wayne Corbett signed photo raffle. We'll do a couple of calls left with GreenBean here. Ladies and gentlemen, first up in this next segment is the man with a Jets tattoo who's in the holiday spirit, it appears. Hello, Carl.
Hey, how you doing? How you doing, GreenBean? How you doing?
Up? I'm good, man. How you doing today? You good?
I'm doing pretty good, yeah. Hey, GreenBean, are you in Virginia?
I am.
Ah, me too.
Where are you at?
I'm in Roanoke.
All right, yeah. I used to go down to Roanoke all the time. I used to hike, that mountain with the star on it?
Oh, yeah.
There? Yeah, I used to hike up there.
Yeah, that's a nice hike.
Yeah. I'm up in Charlottesville. Like I'm in rural, but I'm closest. I'm like between Lynchburg and Charlottesville.
Okay, not too far.
Nah, it's not too bad.
Maybe sometime we can catch a game together.
If you're going to come and sit in my little room here with me, yeah, sure.
Well, I'm in my jet lair right now.
Right. Yeah, so we both got our little den,
Yeah. It gets, I'll tell you what, though, when I get company and they come down here and look in my room and they're like, you're a Jet fan? It gets embarrassing sometimes. Anyway.
Yeah, I'm the resident Jets fan in my circles. Like I and it's almost more annoying. I get a lot of sympathy. You know what I mean? Like, hey man, sorry. I would rather, like when I was up north, like the Giants fans or whoever, they would bust my chops. I think I'm more comfortable with that than sympathy. Like, hey man, tough loss. I'm like, shut the fuck up. You know what I mean? Get out of my face. I don't want your sympathy.
I'll wear my jet hat out and, be walking around in the store and people are looking at me like, what the fuck are you doing? It's unbelievable. But anyway, what I was going to say was Brady Cook. Brady Cook, I don't think he got a fair shot last week. That was pretty tough coming in the way he came in. Not that I think he's going to be anything, but he might be. You just never know until you see it. And I tell you, I was pretty happy to see Adrian Martinez get signed as a backup. I think Adrian Martinez has a little bit of upside. I think he can be a Mike White for us.
If he gets a chance to play, he might be the backup Sunday if Fields and Tyrod are both out.
Well, I always thought that. He was a player. He was an MVP in the UFL. He's got some talent. I've seen him play. He's got some upside. We don't know what Brady Cook's got, but anyway, what do you think about how's it looking for us with Mendoza?
What do you think? Oh, me?
Yeah, anybody.
Oh, all right, yeah, okay. Here's what I think's going to happen. You ready for this?
I'm ready.
I think the Jets are going to lose out, right? Which keeps us as a 3-win team. I think the Giants are going to beat. I think the Giants are going to beat the Raiders. The Raiders are going to win one more. The Titans are going to beat the Saints, and the Saints are going to beat the Jets. I think the Jets are going to get the number 1 overall pick. That's what I think. Yes.
Wow.
I think if we all just stop, just shut up. Everybody shut up. Be quiet. Just sit back and watch. Don't overturn the apple cart. If we just lose, we just let Brady Cook play. Let Brady cook. 2 more fumbles, 2 more picks, 6 more sacks. We'll just let Brady Cook play out. We don't need to get Justin Fields back. You don't need to put Tyrod back when he's healthy. Just let Brady Cook play. Let the defense do what they do. Again, the Giants are going to win one more. The Raiders are going to win one more. And the Saints are going to win one more. And the Titans. They're all going to win one more. And we're going to be catapulted to the top. That's what I think. Because, look, I think direct with the Titans, I believe with strength of schedule here, is theirs better? Let me see. No, ours is better than theirs. Let me see. Yep. So we jumped them. Cleveland's interesting. No, so Cleveland's interesting. I think Shador's going to win one too. So I think it's all going to work out, man. We just got to calm down. Everybody calm down.
That'd be amazing. If they didn't have to give up anything to get Mendoza, Moore, whoever they like, and you keep the Colts pick, which could be trending in the top 15, and you have the 2 seconds. I mean, the hope that the franchise will have, regardless who they end up taking at 1, is going to be astronomical. I hope you're right. That'd be amazing.
And even if we're at 2, obviously that trims people. Look, if we're at 2 and the Giants hypothetically are at 1, or somebody that's willing to trade out that doesn't need a quarterback, because if the Raiders are there, you just forget it, right? If the Giants are there and we're at 2, it's going to cost less. Now, people say, yeah, but what if the team at 4 is offering 3 first-round picks, whatever? The Giants, like every team, are going to have their sights set on the player that they want, right? It's probably, let's just say Reese, for example, or Tate, or whoever it is that they want with their pick. The idea of sliding back 1 pick and getting a second and or even whatever. So but it's less. Let's call it the next first round pick. Whatever. You got to use the other first round pick to jump up 1 spot. All right. They can get an additional first and still sliding back 1 spot. You know who the Jets are going to take. So they are guaranteed to get that extra pick and get their player. That can be more attractive than sliding back 3 or 4 spots, getting more draft picks, but then potentially losing the guy that you want. Because the Jets, if you're going only back 1 spot, it's essentially free money. You know what I mean? So a lot of times that can be the weight on the scale that just says, you know what, we'd rather take less and still get our player than slide back a bunch of spots and potentially lose that player. So I don't know. I think there's even a chance if we're at 2, I think we can do that too.
I love it. Carl, how does that sound to you?
It sounds great. I mean, I hope it happens. I think the Jets are going to lose out. I really don't have a doubt about that. I can't see them winning another game.
Maybe the Saints game is the only game I could see them winning. I don't think they have a chance against New England. I don't think they have a chance against Buffalo if that game matters. Last game ever at their old piece of dump stadium. The New Orleans game is the only one that scares me next week. Hopefully it's Cook or Adrian Martinez starting in that one, because you lose that game, you really are positioned nicely to finish 3-14. And at the bare minimum, even if they don't finish number 1, GB, if you're in the top 3, you're in prime position to secure one of the quarterbacks, worst case scenario.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I just don't know, how good I feel. I really I haven't done any of my quarterback eval stuff yet, and then Jake, I lean on guys like Dom's, he's so deep into this stuff already. and has been for months. So like I'll use that in this early going to kind of help fashion my opinions, and I watch some games and stuff, but I haven't done any of my stuff yet. So I my opinion can change, but I got to tell you, I like the idea of Fernando Mendoza, especially coming in and having the line and Garrett Wilson and Breece Hall. Like I think that's a really good, I think he is a really good option. I don't know how I feel about the next batch of guys. Like Simpson scares me. I do like him too, but he scares me a little bit. And then Moore to me, I don't know. I just don't know yet. So for Fernando Mendoza, if you can figure out how to get him, especially if we're at pick 1, I think he is the pick. But I think I think we're on to something. Like if we get him, we got a real shot, man, to turn this around. But I don't know how I feel about the other guys, but like you said, it's still an immeasurable positive if you're at least going to get one if you want one.
Yep, 100%. I like Mendoza too. I think the whole key for him to be a Jet is for a team like the Raiders to not be in front of the Jets, because you could offer whatever to the Raiders. They might just say no if that's their guy too.
Well, it's like when the Titans had the number 1 pick and Marcus Mariota was there, or maybe it was a number 2 pick because what's his name? He's on the Giants. Jameis. Yeah. So, but remember Chip Kelly, he was the head coach of the Eagles. He offered them 4 number 1 picks and they said no.
The Giants a few years ago, they offered a bunch of picks to move up to 2 and they couldn't do it. They offered a bunch of picks to move up to 3 with New England for May, and they said no. That's the risk. GB, I'm going to let you run because I know you're going to do a show soon. But before you get out of here, can you please tell people what they can expect if they're going to be locked and loaded to the Green Bean Jets fan YouTube channel?
Oh, a lot of F-bombs. That's what we started. Yeah. So look, man, I have a different take on the Joe Burrow thing. We started to talk about it here.
Yep.
I think there's much to discuss on this. What our options are at quarterback. And like I just started to say, I also think our draft, like people are getting upset one side or the other, Jake, you know how we are. We're fighting. We're eating our own over this thing. I think there's a path to some really interesting options, and we're going to chat about that today over on the channel is Green Bean Jets Fan on YouTube.
I put the link in the live chat. I'm going to post it again. Make sure you guys subscribe to GB if you haven't done so already. And I can't wait to check in with you during this game Sunday when you do the watch along and see how you guys are reacting to Brady Cook throwing 3 interceptions, or who knows, whatever the heck is going to happen on Sunday.
It's going to be a fun one. I can guarantee that. Oh, man, it's going to be interesting. I can't wait.
Love it. Green Bean, you're the man. Thanks for doing this.
All right, Jake. Thank you, buddy. Have a good day.
Green Bean Jets fan with us there. Hit the like button. Hey, quick reminder, the show's a podcast. If you ever miss it live on YouTube, just search Jake Asman Show, and you can listen on Spotify or Apple. I'm going to get to more of your calls. For those tuning in late, we have a great raffle this morning. A signed photo by Mr. Third Down, Jets legend Wayne Corbett. The latest recipients in the raffle, Green Gang, who gifted the channel 5 channel membership. The following 5 listeners are now channel members thanks to Green Gang. JB, the Alien Annihilator. What is that? Kamala, NY3. Taylor Sterling. Deborah 6438. Michael Palermo, all receiving a gifted membership there. Appreciate you as always, Green Gang. Hope you're doing well. Mr. Bonesy's been a channel member for 27 months. Cook is sneaky aggressive. He gets through his progressions. He can run the offense. If you guys could dream about Burrow, I could dream Cook is our next Purdy. Burrow to the Jets is probably more likely than Brady Cook being the next Brock Purdy. But if you want to dream, Mr. Bonesy, dream no little dream. Why not? Wesack writes in, who's developing Mendoza? This staff, no chance. Yeah, I mean, all fair. I'm not going to tell you you're wrong. I have grave concerns as well. Doesn't mean I wouldn't still take a quarterback, though, because they're not going anywhere. So you have to just hope they improve, hope that they make some adjustments maybe to the offensive staff. I think Engstrand can stay. I would like to get a new QB coach. Again, someone needs to explain to me why Charles London is qualified to be the team's quarterback coach. He's a former collegiate running back who coached running backs and only started coaching QBs a few years ago. Like, what great offensive minds did he learn under at the quarterback spot? He was with Bill O'Brien in Houston. He was with Geno Smith and on the Seattle staff last year. Like, it's not like he was under McVay or O'Connell or Shanahan. So I don't really get that one. So I'm with you. Let's see. Cashmere, how about Tyler Linderbaum from the Ravens? Again, if he's available, I'm all for it. I think the Ravens are going to extend him. Doesn't seem like a player that they'd actually let hit free agency. More calls right now. Football Friday. Let's check in with a man who's all about football.
I thank you very much for your cooperation. Thank you.
Thank you.
Idiots screwed up my prescription for the 5th time.
Who screwed it up?
The typical Illinois. Typical. You put idiots in charge that can't do a job, and then sooner or later it's like, oh well, we made a boo-boo. Hey, yeah.
Are these the same people that are in charge of your mail over there?
No, that's different. USPS is different. This is the state. They are. It's terrible.
Hey, Gator wrote in ring light dumbass.
Not today, man. I got enough things to go through. Going to a Christmas party later on this afternoon, which is gonna be good, and then tomorrow we're supposed to drop. Then Berwyn.
Yeah, whose party is it?
It's gonna be a good part. What happened?
Whose Christmas party is it?
Business associates party.
A business associate.
Mm-hmm. Hold on.
Now remind the audience who's new to the show what exactly you do again.
Don't we all take care of business here? What the hell? Wait, what the hell? Wait. My blood type is not ragu. I don't eat ragu. I don't eat Prego. Fresh tomato sauce. Fresh. Don't you get it? And I don't think for next year, this is what I don't see. I don't see Williams coming back. I don't think so.
Williams?
Clemens, the other brother. Because the other guy went to Dallas, and now we're stuck with the other guy. I don't see it happening. I don't think Clemens is going to be around. Tony Adams is just about finished. I don't see it happening. I mean, we got to go.
Kyle Clifton writes in, are you wearing a tux since it's an associate?
This is Kenny Omega from New Japan. Read them and wait.
Game over.
That's right.
Are you hosting the Christmas party, Beast LLC?
No. It's a different people. But we're gonna have fun today, and then after that, it's on to the holidays. And as a matter of fact, all I hope for is some snow this year. And I'm still tracking my stuff. I got a New York Knicks jersey coming in the mail. Number 6. It's the number 6 guy. You know who I'm talking about? Number 6, right? He's a tall dude. He used to play for you guys. Porzingus. That guy was a beast.
Why would you get a Kristaps Porzingis Knicks jersey?
Well, that was the only one available. Everything else was like 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80. I'm like, get out of here. Get out of here. What do you think I can? How about I just put a T-shirt on that just says, "The world thinks I got money growing out my ass."
I thought you do.
Do I look like a tree? Seriously, do I look like a tree?
Well, I mean, it depends.
No, I like trees, but right now all the leaves are off the trees right now. They're bare. It's winter time. And you don't barely see any squirrels, but I'm gonna say this for Sunday. Please win. Please. For the love of God. I'm sick and tired of this running around. No more of this shit. Take it off. That enough.
I didn't even read it yet.
Enough with that shit.
Beast has a Hogwarts
Enough with the
Christmas party
bullshit.
tonight. Beast send regards to Voldemort, and he's gone. Beast, you got to let me read it. I didn't even see what was said. All right. On that note, let's get back to more calls. First, shout out to Ricky NY. He gifted a channel membership, so he's in the raffle for one.
Hey, what's up?
Let's get the more calls now, shall we? Renzel's on the line, followed by Neil and then Taylor. Here we go. Home stretch. Hello, Renzel.
What's going on, Jay?
What's up, Renzel?
Not much. Cold, but hey, live in New York. Got to get through it. So I was listening to some podcast there, and they threw an interesting name out there that I have not heard anybody mention. Mind you, this guy is under contract. He has started before. I'm not sure how many games he started, but I know he has started before. But he's under the Sean Payton tree, which is the backup quarterback in Denver, Jarrett Stidham, as a bridge guy. Muji knows him very well because he was there when they signed the guy, and they've been developing the guy. What are your thoughts about that guy, Jarrett Stidham, as a bridge quarterback? Bring him in with a Tyrod Taylor and a rookie quarterback. I've never heard that name.
Yeah, I like the thought process, right? Because obviously Muji does know him from Denver. 4th round pick in 2019. Is he a free agent or he's under contract? I'd have to look. I mean, he could be a potential option. He can't be the only option though, right? Like you said, Tyrod, him, and then a rookie, or Gardner Minshew, him, and someone else. Someone like it has to be. It would have to be him and someone else. Yeah, it can't just be him and then like you're set.
Yeah, it has to be 3 guys. I'm all the way there with you. It has to be 3 guys. There's no way. Besides that, I don't see no other reason why they should even want to get these guys healthy at quarterback. Nobody wants to see Justin Fields take another snap. It's a waste of time. Tyrod
He's signed
Taylor,
through next year, by the way, so I don't think he's an option. I don't think they're going to trade for him.
Oh, he's on the contract?
He's under contract for another year, yep.
Oh, so it would have to be trade. Oh, okay, interesting. Okay. Yeah, I seen it thrown out there. I was like, okay, maybe makes sense. They tie up, I guess, the Denver connection with Moogie, and so I was like, oh, maybe, yeah, could be. I told you who I would like. I would like Jimmy G to come in. He's been sitting behind the McVay tree, getting, I believe those are valuable. He's been getting valuable time sitting behind, watching a master at work at Stratford. I think he could come in next year and be an excellent bridge quarterback. He's done it before, being a bridge. I don't think he's gonna light anything up, but I think he could, he make all the throws and at least move the ball down the field and allow the rookie to develop. We cannot. The thing about the media here, what scares me is I believe somebody has been saying, I'm not sure who's on the show that's been saying it, but I don't know if it's on this show or on another show, but the media here is like a pressure cooker, man. As soon as any bridge quarterback has 2-3 bad games, they're gonna be calling for that rookie quarterback, bro. And it's insanity how the media is here, and I think it's part of the reason why rookies quarterbacks don't, they have so much hard time succeeding here, bro. It's like it's so hard in New York. I mean, I just hope that if we do draft a quarterback, we do go through the right process and let this guy develop the right way. Let the bridge play no matter how much he struggles, and just go about it the right way, man. We deserve it, man. It's been torture for so long, bro. Like, I don't know what else do we have to do, man, to finally get somebody and get us in contention, at least to get exciting football back in New York, man. We deserve it, man. Like, I just don't understand.
I feel your pain, Renzo. Look, it's tough, but that's why I think when you're evaluating these quarterbacks coming out, like how you think the personality can handle being criticized and scrutinized, the level at which you're criticized and scrutinized when you play for the Jets needs to be a part of the evaluation. And I think that's what they got wrong with Zach Wilson, for example. Like, you need someone who's got the temperament to handle all that. I think Mendoza does. I don't know about Moore yet. I don't know about Simpson or Darian Mensah or Jaden Mayava, but, the Mendoza is the guy I've watched the most or seen him on podcasts or different interviews. I think his personality, he can handle it. I think it works. I don't know about the other guys yet, though, but that needs to be a big part of the evaluation. Because I think it could really break you. And you can, like, you saw, like, Zach Wilson, like, he lost his confidence, and then that was it. It's hard. You are right, too, from the standpoint that if they play a bridge and that bridge stinks, there's going to be a lot of fans and media saying time to play the rookie, and the Jets have to show some resiliency that they're not just going to cave and just play the guy if he's not ready yet. Like, they have to make sure that they don't do anything because fans and media are asking for it. They play the guy when the guy's ready to play. That's a big part of all this. We'll find out if they're up for that task because it's not like you're going to have an experienced coaching staff with this. Glenn is going to be overseeing the development of a rookie quarterback. Angstrand, same thing. We don't know if they're good at it or not. They've never done it.
You tell me how crazy I am. I just took 4 chair headshots.
Beast, you there?
All these don't carry them no more. They discontinued them.
Beast?
Give me a minute. I need a drink. What do I need? Hey, look. Breakfast. Breakfast of Champions. Do you remember the one? Do you remember the one part where Mickey Mantle was puking his guts out, and then the one guy came with the cup of milk? He's like, here you go, Breakfast of Champions. Oh, little breakfast. We're gonna win Sunday, but I don't think Brady Cook's gonna make it. You know, he's young, but he's not ready yet. He's just not prepared. He's not prepared for the big fight. I don't want to see Justin Fields on the field. I don't want to see him. He's too much of a whiner, and he's afraid to get knocked around like a punching bag. Like, I'll give you a hint. For example, bing bing bong 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 bing bing bong bong bing 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 bong bong. What does that tell you, Jake? What does that sound like?
Pinball machine?
Yeah, he's like a pinball machine. He's afraid to get punched around. And I played pinball a couple of times.
Hey, Eli says no way that's breakfast. Is that not breakfast?
Hey, it's called quick grab and go. It happens. Does this look like a Pop-Tart to you, idiots? This is a honey bun. It's a 7-letter word. Iced honey bun. Get it correct, Goombas.
I see.
I'm gonna eat good today and have a nice day out in the suburbs, and then tomorrow's gonna be real cold. High of 13 and then -2 at night. That's no problem.
When's the holiday party?
That starts at 4:30 today. I gotta get in the shower. I'll do one more shave. Keep the facial hair off because I don't like all that facial hair on me. Why would I keep that? Why? What am I gonna do? Keep sandpaper? No sandpaper here. No.
Hell yeah.
Clean up.
All right, home stretch here. Make sure you enter the raffle for the signed Wayne Corbett photo if you have not yet done so. Ladies and gentlemen, sing along.
Get ready for Neil. He will make 13 points about the New York Jets and maybe hump a Patriots jersey. Get ready for Neil. He's probably smoking a big fat cigar and burning his house to the ground. That's Neil.
Jake, my brother.
Happy Friday, Neil.
Just went in and put my 7 fish order in at the fish market. Oh, boy.
Very nice.
Ooh. I have that 7 fish dinner Michelle makes. I have a lot of people that would love to come to that. It's a culinary feast. Anyhow, I can't. Dylan likes my Kyler Murray suggestion there, Jake. I'm getting a little traction with that. Rob even told me he'd be happy with him as a bridge. Are you still off that in your own mind?
Again, I'm not. I don't want him if I have to inherit his contract.
You're not going to get his contract. Don't worry about that.
Well, I mean, if you didn't cost anything, but I'm still drafting a rookie.
Absolutely.
And I'm open to it. Well, I mean, but Dylan, he likes Murray more than most. Like he's like the one guy I know that has been like advocating for him for the beginning. I'm not the biggest fan of his game. He's always hurt. I don't think he's a great leader.
Look, I don't love his game, but the choices are
not good.
good.
Yeah, I get it. And look, you do worse than him if you have Mendoza, let's say, behind him, for example.
You know, you guys were teasing me because of the Adrian Gonzalez.
Oh,
you know why I say Adrian Gonzalez, right?
He was a former baseball player.
That's what I mean. He's stuck in my head. You know, he was a steroid guy, right, Jake? He was
I don't know.
Wasn't he Oriole? What was he? He was a great player, Adrian.
He played for a bunch of teams. He played for the Mets at the end of his career, too.
But I think he was I think he had
Padre, Dodger. He played for a bunch.
Yeah, he was a great player. Look, Adrian Martinez is going to come into this next 2 games. This is how I see it, okay? Cook is going to Cook looks a lot like, to me, unless he starts to perform a little better, he looks a lot like the guy we had last year, the backup. What was his name?
Which guy are you talking about?
2 years ago, the guy
Tim Boyle?
Simeon? Yeah, he's looking a little like Tim Boyle to me. A little game manager. He's got puppet strings on.
Brady Cook might already be better than Tim Boyle.
Oh, no, he's already better. The problem is they have puppet strings on him, and I want to see, how he is on Sundays. I know one thing. I'm telling you, Jake. There's the OGs that have watched a lot of Jet football like Martinez better in the preseason than Brady Cook. If you took a survey, most guys like Martinez better. But here's the thing. When you play football on Sundays in the bright lights, Martinez has been in the bright lights. I don't care if it's USFL or whatever the hell it is. The guy has played well in the bright lights. And I think we're going to give him a shot. And I'm only talking about for a backup. You know what I'm saying? I mean, he wouldn't be the worst backup option next year if he ends up being adequate, wouldn't you say? I mean, if he plays as good as Tyrod Taylor, wouldn't you rather have him? He's young. He's not going to get hurt every time he touches the ground. And he wouldn't cost us a lot.
I just don't think Martinez is that good, Neil. I've seen nothing from that tells me that, yes, like he could be anything special. I think they like Cook better. Cook's a better just drop back, could make all the throws from the pocket quarterback. Martinez is more of an improviser, and I just don't think that he's got enough of the stuff you need between the ears to process and play the position at a high level from the pocket. He's always taking off looking to run. Like he's a scrambler. That works in the CFL. But I like that works
he rolls out. He had accuracy. He's had.
You might see him. I think they're both not any good, so it's not going to matter.
But one of them is going to be a backup for us, maybe a third quarterback.
Maybe. So, if you're placing bets, chances are there's 3 new quarterbacks on the depth chart a year from now than anyone on the current quarterback depth chart actually being on the team. Like that'd be the betting odds at this point.
Boy, Cousins outdueled Baker yesterday. I mean, he looks pretty good. I don't know. Kirk Cousins. I don't know. What about him as a bridge, Jake?
I don't know if he's going to be available. They kind of need him. Like Penix is not going to be healthy for the start of next year.
Let me tell you something. I didn't watch I watched Penix in college in that last game, and he was getting banged up a little bit. And I said to myself, this guy is never going to last in the NFL without injury. And I was right about that. He's an injury. He's not built to be a quarterback that's going to last in the league. So I didn't like him. And certainly, look, it's Mendoza. It's what Peter said yesterday. We can't win without a quarterback. Enough bullshit on how many draft picks we got. I'm not going to go up. I'm not going to go down. If this guy Mendoza, certainly the college playoffs are going to tell a story. If this guy ends up winning the college playoffs and wins a championship for Indiana, Jake, is there a quarterback in 27 that's going to be better?
I don't know. I think
that's my.
I think that's the whole unknown, and that's
Right.
why it's a risk, and why I'm going to make sure that I get one of these quarterbacks this year, and God forbid I'll take another one in 27.
That's what I mean. Why I don't want to hear about passing on the quarterback. That we got a lot of holes now. We got to fill with players. And,
They need someone now. I agree. You got to get one of these guys
already with that. We got to take a quarterback now. All right, number one.
The same people who don't want to get a quarterback now are going to be complaining when there's no young quarterback that gives you any sort of thing to watch when this team wins only 6 games again next year. You got to have a quarterback.
And like I think you said this or somebody else said it, if we win 4 more games, Jake, I can't believe I can't do this. Another year for 4 or 5 games. 26 is going to be out the window. We'll be 4 games in. Then 27, we take a quarterback. We got to wait 8 games to put him. Where are we going here? This is going to be like enough. We deserve Broadway Joe. Can we get Broadway Joe?
I mean, Phillip Rivers came out of retirement. Maybe Namath wants to play Sunday.
No, I'm talking Broadway Joe Burrow. That's what I want, Jake.
I don't see it, Neil. Why would he want to come to the Jets?
I got to tell you something. Look, if they convince. Who's the guy? What's his name? Came on yesterday. He said there's 3 places for him to go, and then one of them was the Jets. The other was the Raiders. What was the other team?
He said those 3 teams should be figuring out a way to try and get him. Not that Burrow himself would want to play. That was Dan Orlovsky who said that.
Orlovsky mentioned 3 teams, but we're a better option than the Raiders. The only thing that makes us think about this a second, Jake. The only thing that makes us attractive is let's just put it in perspective. If we dropped him into the Jet team now, I think we're a team that's better than the Bengals as it stands right now. If we had a decent defensive coordinator, would you agree with that or disagree?
If you put Burrow on the Jets now, are they better than the Bengals?
Bengals now. In other words, is Joe Burrow better with the Bengals now or the Jets now? That's a good question.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, the Jets obviously beat the Bengals head to head. It's tricky. I mean, the Jets defense is so bad. Cincinnati's defense is bad too, but they've been better lately than the Jets. Like they had that game against the Ravens where they actually forced 5 turnovers. I don't know. It's close, Neil. It really is. The quarterback makes such a difference. Like Burrow automatically would make the Jets have a chance at the playoffs just based on him being as good as he is. But they're not just a Burrow away. So it's not like he's going to look at the Jets and be like, if I go there, I'm guaranteed they'll win instantly. And there's no connection between him and any of the Jets coaches that would make him comfortable and want to do it. I can't picture him waving his trade.
I just think that he is going to be enamored with our O-line. I think that gives him a little bit of that.
There'll be other teams that would have a good O-line too that would want him.
But we need him, Jake.
We do. Well, you know what? They need to, but like it would be too easy for that to work. It's not realistic. Like what they need to do is they need to find out which one of these quarterbacks they believe can be a franchise guy and be right and get that guy this offseason.
In the draft you're talking about?
In the draft, yeah. There's no option out there that I think is going to be the end all be all that solves all the problems. It'd be nice if it was Burrow. I'm just not going to get my hopes up because I don't think he's going to waive his no trade to want to come here.
And but the other teams like Pittsburgh, there's teams in his division. He won't go to Cleveland. They won't trade him to Cleveland. They won't trade him to Pittsburgh.
Yep.
So those 2 teams are out.
Yeah, but I could see a team in the NFC like the Vikings or the Rams, let's say, if Stafford
The
retired.
Vikings made sense. But, we'll have to see. I just think that Cook, what happens is Martinez going to be the backup for sure, or we don't know yet?
We don't know just yet. I mean, Tyrod and Fields haven't practiced yet this week, so it could be Adrian Martinez as the backup.
They brought Martinez back. I'm telling you, Jake, I have eyes. There was a couple of other guys that are OGs that like Martinez. Peter liked him a lot. I watched him in preseason. I thought he did well for the 2 preseasons, okay? Let's see what happens. My prediction is he is going to play one of the final 4 games, and he might win a game and ruin.
Let's hope not. Let's hope not.
What? Wait. If he came on and looked really good and beat the Patriots or the Bills, at least we know we have a backup, no?
Yeah, if that happens, Neil, we will worry about it then.
These goddamn exploding cigars. Like, gotta go, Jake. I'll call back later. Shit.
I don't even know if I'd want that, to be honest with you. Oh, we have a backup, or we have like a one outlier game like we saw like Mike White have or something like that. You know, like I need the higher draft pick at this point. The Jets win a game and they're picking 8th. That's going to really hurt to try and move up and figure out how to get one of these quarterbacks. It just will. Taylor's next. Hello, Taylor.
Oh, we're all going to go insane, Jake.
I know. It really is depressed. This is the most depressed I've been about the Jets ever. It's just like, even if you want to try and be like optimistic, like it's hard to like find a real path for them being good next year. Like they could be improved. We could have more hope with a quarterback, but like it's just hard to picture like we're not playing out the string at this time again next year too.
No, I said that yesterday. You know, I was like, I don't see the path. I mean, if we got Mendoza, Kirk Cousins would probably be the ideal, you know, call it a bridge, backup, whatever, just based on how you draw up the offense and play style. And they're both weirdos who are going to, you know, be weirdos together and have a ton of fun, you know. But yeah, I don't see the path because I think the Raiders are going to be picking ahead of us. I don't see us getting lucky and essentially the Titans end up with the first pick because I think that's really the only team that can get the first pick that we'd trade with. I don't know. Here's a question for you. Would you rather say we end up, you know, we get lucky, we lose out, which I still don't think will happen. I think we're going to fuck it up somehow. But say we lose out.
I really hope not. They're this close.
Yeah, I know. And I'm like, you got Brady, Cook, and Martinez. And I'm like, Neil, don't even speak that into existence. Come on, man.
The Saints game scares me next week. It does. They could definitely win that game.
Oh, yeah. And that'll be the game like Tyler Shuck will like break his knee or something. And then all of a sudden the Saints need a quarterback too. And we just beat them. And now we're behind them. But would you rather say we get to 3 and organic, you know, say the Raiders like Dante Moore or whoever, and we organically get Mendoza without trading any of our picks? Would you rather that, or would you rather trade 3 first-round picks for Burrow?
I'd rather trade 3 firsts for Burrow than organically get Mendoza.
Okay. I'm like, even if we get Burrow, I'm like, if we have to trade all of our picks, I'm like, our team still sucks.
Yeah, but if you have 3 first-round picks, you still would have 2 left over. You have Joe Burrow, which automatically means you're in it every year he's healthy. He's that special of a player. And you still have all this cap space to surround the roster with better talent. And you already have some premium positions on either contract extensions that haven't kicked in yet, like Garrett Wilson, or offensive tackles on rookie contracts still. So you still have plenty of resources to build your team, even after making that type of acquisition, which would cost a lot. There's no doubt. But again, if that's what it would take to get a bona fide 28-year-old, soon to be 29-year-old franchise QB, like that's to me a no-brainer.
No, I have to agree with you because
he's 29. He just turned 29 2 days ago. So again, the guy's not even 30 years old yet. Like you're seeing quarterbacks play into their 40s now. So you'd have a 8 to 10 year run where you have one of the top 5 players in the sport.
Yeah, Joe Burrow's like one of my favorite quarterbacks in the league. I was, you know, my brother's a Chiefs fan, and when they beat them in the AFC Championship game a few years ago, I was screaming Joe Shiesty all over the living room, you know. But
how's he a Chiefs fan? How'd that happen?
I don't know. My dad's a Jets fan. My older brother's a Jets fan. I'm a Jets fan. My younger brother, he's a Chiefs fan. He's a dickhead. Like my dad's a big North Carolina fan because he was, you know, a Jordan fan back in the 80s, and he's a Duke fan. You know, he's just that. They were probably playing the Jets one day when he was like 7 years old, and he was like, I'm a Chiefs fan. You know, he's at least not like a Pat Mahomes bandwagon fan. I still remember he had this old Matt Castle Chiefs jersey, you know, like he's seen some pain, but in the beginning of the show, I wanted to talk about the O-line. I don't mind it seems like that's starter money they're giving them, but I would sign Simpson and AVT. Simpson, I'd try and get them both to do team-friendly contracts. Simpson, something with his wife, like he wants to stay in the area. See if you can get him for under 10 mil. And then Vera Tucker, be like, here's 5-6 guaranteed. And if you play all the, if you start at left guard and play all the games, you can make 12 million, or whatever. And then you have some depth, be like, hey, Simpson, you've been a penalty liability. We'll let you battle it out with AVT in the, in training camp, but you might not start for us, and see if they'd go for that. Do you have the graphic for like all of our picks this year?
Yes, but it's not accurate as of like what it currently is.
Right.
Just like the list of,
So
each
we have
round
a bunch of late picks. I'm like, I'd throw, you could throw, get rid of Max Mitchell and Carter Warren and those, out with those guys and draft a couple young,
Warren's gone. Mitchell, they might bring back on like a 1-year deal as their extra offensive lineman they use.
But I'd rather throw a sixth, if you're not going to, I assume they'll trade some of these picks to either get in a third round or, trade up for a guy that they want in the fourth round. Because we saw Muji do that last year. I assume they'll be moving, having this many picks. You're not going to take 13 guys or whatever, depending if they have to trade a bunch of picks for the quarterback. But I would throw some darts on depth pieces on the offensive line too, and really get that going. But
I agree.
That's all I got.
think bringing Myers back, Taylor, good call. It doesn't stop you from doing any of that. You could still use, let's say, one of those seconds on a guard/center type that is in the pipeline. That's competing with Myers. You don't just hand Myers the job. Like, they gave him $6 million guaranteed, right? But that's not, you're definitely starting no matter what. It gives you options. I like it. I like it a lot. All right, couple calls left, but I need to play something that many have been clamoring for. If you missed it the other day, we had an all-time breakdown on the show when Sean the Drunk called in, and we're still not quite sure why he was so mad. More of your calls right now. This guy is a loose cannon.
I'm really going to try to tone it down tonight. Psych! About the yearbook for 98. Aaron Glenn.
DS.
So,
this call is going into the toilet like that football he dropped a few weeks ago.
What? No, boss. This is what you do, man. I'm trying to make a good call. Then you bring up these idiotic guys. Dude, if I was in your face, you wouldn't say shit.
Frank called you an angry drunk.
And you guys want to, thrash me.
Don't take the chat overly serious. They're trying to troll you to get you riled up. Sean, stop crying. Now I will definitely tell you that to your face.
He wouldn't.
Dickie
I guarantee
says,
you wouldn't.
Yes, we would talk to you like that. Gary says they're all P words. Don't take it to heart. How about the fact that the guy that called you a midwit is coming to your defense?
Thank you, nitwit guy.
We're all now dumber for listening to this. How do you think this call went?
Jake, man, I like you, but you can, be problematic in my life.
3 minutes of shoving a football in a toilet was more entertaining than 10 minutes of whining.
Because you want to make me look like a dumbass. Like I'm, like Beast.
Whoa.
And make me
What
feel
has
like
Beast done? Why are you taking a shot at Beast?
Because you want to make me look like a sideshow freak.
You make yourself look like a jackass. I don't have to do that.
Beast is a clown in itself.
Shut your trap. Look, Asperger.
Dude, you live with your mom.
Shut up, bitch, when I speak. 1987's calling for their glasses back.
This is what Jake wants. Jake is feeding
No,
off
you
it.
ain't
You know
nobody.
why? Because he's getting more lucrative
I want more
callers.
bitches like you.
I know your game, Jake.
Go change your tampons, by the way.
Did you get enough airtime today? Are you satisfied?
You're a clown, bro. You're a clown.
You just made me $2. Nate says, thanks for the Sean.
I know. You're making me seem like I'm a sideshow clown, and I'm not.
Do that on your own. I just answer your calls.
You're the ringleader.
Well, it's called the Jake Asman Show. So, yes, by the nature of the title, I am the host of the show.
If you want to talk to me one-on-one, I'll meet you on the boat.
I really don't want to talk to you one-on-one. I think the platform we have here is more than adequate.
Because you're afraid. You're scared. You little
What?
redhead bitch.
Your drunk ass calling into a talk show? I'm afraid of you? No, Sean. We'll see you later, buddy. Hope your life improves. You miserable piece of crap. So apparently Sean's not calling back in because he's too busy putting his football on the toilet again or something. This was just sent to me by Sean. If you get done with the football on the toilet, please call in.
I don't hate you, Jake.
It sounds like you do. You've been ripping me in all your comments here.
Because I'm disturbed how things went. When people drink, you know what results of.
Beastbreaker wrote in, shut up, Sean. Go play with your tampons. Are you blaming me for your drunkenness? Yankees Rock wants to know. Have you thought about not calling into the show if the chat triggers you, Sean?
You kind of trigger me.
I trigger you?
Jake, I like you, man. It's about making money. Let's be real. I'm not stupid, Jake. Let me go back to incognito mode. You know, I'm smart. I'm not stupid like half your audience.
This guy is a severe alcoholic.
Your problems are my problems.
My problems have nothing to do with you. So stick that 98 yearbook up your ass and stop blaming me for your problems.
My girlfriend even said, you watch so much Jake Asman, I had Jake in my dreams.
You're dreaming about me, Sean?
For real. I love you, Jake. I'm just mad at the whole life agenda.
If you called in sober, I bet they wouldn't make fun of you as much because you wouldn't be saying outlandish things.
Sober? I'm boring. Yes. Yeah, like the guy with the half.
Did you just call David T boring?
He is boring.
I think he's joyful. How dare you go after David T? Well, when it became clear that he was talking about David T, we will not stand for such a thing.
You know what, Jake?
Yes, Sean.
This is how I feel right now. Fuck you. I'm out. Bitches. Fuck you.
Anything else, Sean? Sean, my advice to you would be put the bottle down, you drunk fuck. Thank you, Sean. Hope you're doing well, buddy. What a moment. Thank you to Gator for that edit, huh? Posted that as a members only video this morning. Couple super chats, and then today's closer is the big fella, so get ready. Jetstream writes in, Brady Cook needs to start the rest of the games. I don't care if both Fields and Tyrod are healthy, barring he is somehow worse than Fields in the passing game. I'd like to see Cook the last 4 games too. I don't think there's any point in playing Fields and Tyrod. We know what he is. He's always hurt. It is what it is. It's in the best interest for the Jets to lose these last 4. It just is. You've been bad all year. Don't magically win a couple games when the season's over. Get the higher draft pick. It will make the offseason easier for the Jets to navigate. Robin with a super chat. If nutrition was our biggest issue, I'd welcome a good cook. Otherwise, it's just throwing stuff against the wall and hoping. Look, we all love the idea of the backup quarterback, right? Like Neil's obsessed with Adrian Martinez. They're backups for a reason, people. Keep your expectations low. You won't be that disappointed. Taylor says, double down, Mr. Third Down. Bang! 2 more raffle entries here for Taylor. He's in our Wayne Krebet autograph photo giveaway that's coming up shortly, so make sure you enter. I'm counting the names. Right now, though, I'm getting set to go to another caller where the great big fella is standing by and will close us out today.
He's home, his bell is on the bed. That's what feels good. On the road, his bell is on the bed. In a dirty hotel room. He calls the show, his bell is on the bed. It's just more comfortable. He got a beard, loves the Jets, super Jets. Well, the big fella sleeps alone. There's no room on his bed. Well, that's a big fella.
Hey, what's up, man?
Hello, big fella.
How's it going? Hey, all the single men out there, find a woman to love as much as Neil loves Adrian Martinez, bro.
By the way, I have the Neil call recap that Boom sent me. Point 1, Neil has successfully placed his order for 7 fish. Point 2 is sure the Jets don't have to worry about Kyler's contract. Point 3 believes Cook has puppet strings attached to him. Point 4, Neil knew watching Penix's tape in college he'd get hurt in the NFL. Point 5, wants to trade for Broadway Joe number 2. Point 6 is curious if the Jets or the Bengals are better right now. Point 7, convinced that Martinez is 100% better than Brady Cook. Neil used 7 of his 13 points.
Wow. He loves that Adrian Martinez, bro. He really does. Two things. The first thing, can you explain to me this Josh Myers contract? Because Josh Myers has one job to do is snap the ball, and he can't do that. And then we're signing him for 2 years, bro.
I don't think it's as bad as you think. You think his snaps have been that big of a problem this year?
I do. It's always below the knees, and it's terrible. I'm telling you, the quarterbacks are always bending down trying to pick up the snaps.
Well, I mean, that happens with every team, no? Like, not every snap is like belt high, perfect.
I don't know. I've noticed it with him. He did it with Fields. He did it with Tyrod. He's doing it with Brady Cook. You know, I just don't. I think he's below par with.
They obviously don't think it's a problem because they signed him. I think he's a good depth signing. Like, he's a fringe starter, good backup. It gives you optionality going into the offseason where you know you have 4 of your 5 guys in place, worst case, but you could use the draft and free agency or even a trade potentially to figure out, how you get your best 5 out there.
Yeah, I agree with that. But if you're going to start him, I don't think he's a starter at all. I really don't. Backup, he can play different positions. Fine. I get that. But being our starting center, I want somebody there that's reliable, and he's not it, in my opinion. Did you see the games last night? The game last night between Tampa and Atlanta?
We did. Yeah, we played the Todd Bowles cursing up a storm at the podium earlier where GreenBean was on.
Crazy. How did we beat Atlanta? I don't get it.
Yeah, they're not very good. That's like a lot of these teams are all kind of hovering around mediocrity or below mediocrity, and like the Bucks, man, like that was a Todd Bowles special. I talk about this all the time. Like that was a game Tampa had to win, prime time spot. They're playing a team that was eliminated days prior. They're playing for nothing, and you went out and lost to them. Like that's terrible.
Crazy. I mean, Kyle Pitts, dude, he was insane last night.
He was. I would take him on the Jets, Bo. I don't know what he's gonna get, but I like the idea of him and Taylor and having 2 legitimate tight ends. He might get overpaid after like a game like that. I don't know.
Right.
But I like Pitts as like a guy that has never lived up to what his hype was, but he's still a decent tight end. Like last night, he was phenomenal.
Yeah, my son had him. My son picked him up this last week for fantasy. He kept him on the fucking bench, bro.
Oh, he had like 44 fantasy points last night.
43 points, dude.
Yeah, that's crazy.
I was like, Dallas Goedert is. What the hell are you doing? He has Dallas Goedert starting. I was like, oh my god. But
imagine going up against Pitts. You work all year, all season. You scrap to get into the playoffs. You find a way, and then Thursday Night Football, Kyle Pitts goes for 43, and you're going home.
Unbelievable. Now, let me talk a little bit about the Joe Burrow thing. I'm not with going out and getting Joe Burrow because we have a lot more holes than Joe Burrow would fix. I said yesterday on the show in the super chat that I think the Eagles would go for him because I don't think they're very high on Hurts. And what's his name? AJ Brown seems to really not like Hurts. So I don't know. I think that they're more viable than we would be. And you said Minnesota. I think Minnesota would be a great place for Burrow, to be honest. I'm all for going up and getting Mendoza. I think he would be the right choice for us. But, we'll have to see if we can find a trading partner or hopefully we can get up there. But rooting for the Raiders to win, man. That's what we're doing. We got to root for the Raiders to win. But yeah, that's pretty much what I got,
Or the Raiders to do something dumb where like they trade for a different veteran thinking they're close because Brady's insistent on it, or maybe they like more and we like Mendoza, so it works out anyway. It'd be great if the Jets would be in front of them no matter what, because then there's just no way like you wouldn't be given the opportunity to move up if you had to. If the Raiders were trying to get in front of you, like they would make the same offer to the Jets and the Jets would be able to beat it.
Right. No, exactly. And last thing, I love the Wilkson it up, man. When you said Wilkson it up, that's
right.
That's perfect.
4 more games for him to Wilkes it up, and then hopefully Glenn wakes up and makes a significant change to his DC.
Exactly. Keep Wilkson it up, Steve.
Look, we didn't like it at the beginning of the year. I need Steve Wilkes to give us 4 more Wilkes-like performances.
Exactly. Well, have a good day, man. I'll talk to you soon.
Ladies and gentlemen, the big fella.
Let's go, Jags! Let's go Jets! Let's go Jets! Let's go Jets!
Great job, big fella. Are we ready, Jake, or what?
Oh, we're ready for a raffle, Beast.
It's time to spin the wheel of champions.
It's time to announce the winners of the weekly Asmaniac raffle. Let's spin the Jake Asman Show Wheel of Champions and find out which Asmaniac is winning an epic prize.
Before we spin this wheel, thank you to everyone who entered. I also want to thank Ricky NY, who got one last entry here with this $5 super chat. Sean is not stupid, Jake. He figured out your job is about making money. Yes, my job, when I make my living doing a Jet YouTube show year-round, is in fact to make money. Breaking news from Sean. If I didn't make money, I wouldn't be able to go live for 4 hours a day and talk about a 3-10 football team. Breaking news from Sean.
Breaking sports news on the Jake Asman Show.
All right, we're playing for a signed Wayne Corbett photo. If you don't win, you're in the weekly raffle, so don't worry. But this is the photo right here. If you win, I need your name and your address so I know where to send it to. And we'll get it sent out to you, hopefully, by the end of today. Good luck to everyone. You guys are the greatest. We wouldn't be here without you. But only one Asmaniac can win this morning. And we will find out the winner right now. Ant Banks. Let's go, Ant. Shout out to Ant, who earlier said, put me in the raffle. Well, guess what, Ant? I did, and you are the winner.
Hello? You play to win the game.
Boom. He is this morning's winner. Again, thank you to GreenBean for joining. He's about to go live on his channel, so make sure you guys head over there and talk some Jets with him. I appreciate everyone tuning in. Football Friday, Jets, Jags Sunday. We'll have a live postgame, obviously, right after the game. So I will talk to you guys after the game for sure on Sunday, and we'll likely have an afternoon show. So be on the lookout for that. If we don't, I'll post in the Discord. But I got some things that we're currently working on. Some big things for the channel, by the way, in 2026. We will be live for the first ever time at the Senior Bowl. I'll be down in Mobile for the first time in my broadcasting career, so I'm looking forward to that. We'll be there with Dom C and with Dylan T. So that will be a lot of fun, great content on the channel coming that week. But we still got some weeks before then, and we'll see where the Jets are even picking by then. So we still got a lot of things to break down and discuss. I'll leave you guys with a funny clip to get you out of here. Enjoy the rest of your day. Hopefully we'll see you this afternoon on the show. Until then, go Jets.
Give us a little moonwalk.
I can't. I got the ankle. Oh, do you not know what happened?
No, did something happen recently?
Yeah, when I was in New York, I got hit by a car.
Is there security footage of this? Can I play it on the show?
So they would probably have the footage. I mean, what am I going to do with it now?
Gator's already working on a production of this. So
yeah, I think that's why I didn't want to bring it up.
I'm going to play a drop, and then that's your cue to make a face like you got hit by a car. You ready?
All right, I'll do it.
Here we go. Ready? And Gator writes in, can he throw the headset off and vomit?
Now there's a gas station over here. I'm gonna go get some pizza and see if they have any butter to put
on it. You could have died.
But I didn't.
Hey, here's the deal. Just got no chance unless you click on that like button. And you gotta make sure you subscribe to the Jake Asman Show. You don't, you can get the f*** out. Now let's go, Asmaniacs. We're built for this shit.